The air magic discipline is a difficult one to master. It requires an understanding of the nature of the sky and a sense of the invisible surroundings of all creatures. Chiropterasapiens are considered elite practitioners and users of air mana. For millennia, they have meditated on the ways of the wind, practiced the flow of flight, and breathed the chi force of the air. No other culture in the world is as practiced, nor holds the depth of knowledge and understanding as these obscure cave-dwelling sky monks. Chiropterasapiens stand slightly taller than a human, their faces covered by their traditional body-length face cloak, upon which are cut a whole pattern of obscures of significance. This veil covers their useless eyes their entire lives, leaving them free to develop their remaining senses. Heightened awareness of touch and temperature, an acute sense of smell, reading olfactory information from the wind, and a subsonic hearing that many believe gives them a superior sight to ordinary humanoid species. Giant folds of leathery skin connect their limbs to one another, creating enormous wings with which they can take to the sky. Often these aeromancers are seen with large staves fashioned from giant roots found in their caves. Atop these staves are embedded smooth crystal spheres, thought to be a way of storing air mana. Chiropterasapiens, colloquially referred to as Batmen, have spent many hundreds of years meditating in caves, learning the secrets of air magic. Their caves are actually a vast network of training schools where the young are indoctrinated into the way of the wind. These monastic schools are cultural equivalent of a university. However, the young are born into these schools and there's no graduation process, only an often misunderstood and barely comprehensible strata of ranks and orders. They stand in opposition to the Sicklith hive mind. While not enemies, their views on reality, morality, and the nature of the universe differ considerably. Generally, you will not find a Chiropterasapien dwelling anywhere near the swarm. Batmen want very little to do with land and sea species. They do not bother to learn any other languages and have an air of superiority about them that is considered extremely arrogant. They are known to use flocks of birds and other winged creatures to gather information about the world nearby. Their acute sense of hearing can listen to birdsong miles away to learn what is happening in their territory. Surprisingly, Chiropterasapiens are quite generous with their teachings. However, the Padawan must be eager to learn in silent meditation for years. The way of the wind is for all beings. Chiropterasapiens dwell in large caves, generally high in the mountains, preferring caves that are relatively inaccessible to species that cannot fly. They tend to sit atop stalagmites in meditation for most of the time, venturing out for food and exercise during dusk and early evening. Batmen eat a variety of insects and fruits. As they very rarely go to ground, they live off the trees and mountain fauna. Their language is very high-pitched and screeching. It is very difficult for humans to produce most of the sounds. However, they can learn the language and simulate words with scraping sounds of rocks and other materials on metal. The phrase "between a rock and a hard place" was originally used to describe negotiating with the Batmen. Chiropterasapien society is extremely hierarchical and is based upon the depth of skill and wealth of knowledge each person has in the culture. There is a culture of deep respect for knowledge and reason, and they tend to be happy mixing with avian creatures, often keeping them as familiars and pets, but without restricting or confining them. A Chiropterasapien council forms whenever something that affects their culture as a whole needs to be addressed. Other than this, there is no organized government. Chiropterasapiens always know when people are around. Their network of avian informants keeps constant watch. It is rare that they will be encountered during the day, but it has been known to occur. The Batmen will be intrigued by intruders first, happy to sit and gather information before engaging with them. Their assessment of the threat generally informs them how to proceed with trespassers. Almost every encounter will find a Chiropterasapien or a group on the branches of trees surrounding the party. It is unusual for them to drop to the ground and be at the same level as a humanoid species. If they do, this is generally a sign of respect. Batmen do not suffer from blindness, as their hearing allows them to perceive their entire surrounds in great detail. As such, attackers do not gain any advantage from flanking or being behind them in combat, nor from them being blind. Batmen never attack first, but if provoked they will use a barrage of air magic spells to defeat an opponent. It is rare that they will kill, preferring instead to drive opponents away.